All right, let's dive into something massive that's happening over at BMW. They're calling it the Neue Klasse, which translates to new class. And it's not just a new model, it's a complete, top-to-bottom reboot of the entire company, their philosophy, their technology, their design. And the first real taste we have of it is this, the new all-electric iX3. Let's really get into it and deconstruct this revolution.
So here's how we're going to break this whole thing down. We'll start with the big picture vision, then look at the first car to come from it, the iX3. We'll dive into its digital soul, get to the heart of the machine, explore the new driving experience, and finally wrap up with its plan for a circular future.
So, first things first, why the big deal? Why is this happening? Well, Neue Klasse is a name that BMW does not use lightly. You see, the original Neue Klasse back in the 1960s was a series of cars that literally saved the company from bankruptcy. It's what defined their modern identity as the maker of the ultimate driving machine. So for them to bring that name back, well, they're signaling that this moment is just as important. This is a total strategic reboot for a new age of electric and digital cars.
And this quote from the big boss at BMW, Oliver Zipse, just perfectly captures the mind-bending ambition here. Just listen to that paradox. Practically everything is new, yet it is also more BMW than ever. I mean, think about that. How do you throw out the rulebook, revolutionize your tech, your design, your entire user experience, but somehow, at the same time, become an even more pure version of what you've always been? That's the tightrope they're trying to walk.
And you gotta understand, this is not just about one electric SUV. The Neue Klasse is the blueprint. It's the foundational architecture. We're talking the chassis, the batteries, the software, the whole shebang for their entire future lineup. BMW says this single platform is going to be the basis for a staggering 40 new models and updates by 2027. 40. So, if this vision succeeds, it sets them up for the next decade. If it fails, the stakes just could not be higher.
Okay, so let's move away from the big, abstract strategy and look at the first piece of metal, glass, and silicon that actually brings it all to life, the new BMW iX3. This is their all-electric sports activity vehicle, or SAV, and it's our first real, tangible look at how all these revolutionary ideas come together in a car you can actually see and touch.
All right, let's geek out on some specs for a minute. The dimensions are pretty typical for a modern SAV. It's a good size, but the number that really jumps out at me here is the drag coefficient, 0.24. Now for a relatively high-riding, kind of boxy vehicle, that is incredibly slippery. That number alone tells you just how obsessed they've been with aerodynamics. And of course, you get the practical wins of an EV platform. Tons of cargo space in the back, plus a 58-liter frunk. You gotta love a good frunk.
So what about the look? The new design mantra is reduced to the essence. It's a very deliberate move away from all the complicated lines and flashy chrome bits we've seen lately. See those vertical kidney grills? That's a direct callback to the 1960s Neue Klasse we talked about, a way to ground this futuristic car in its own history. And I love this idea of light replaces chrome. Instead of shiny metal, they're using animated light signatures to give the car its character. Everything else, the flush glass, the clean wheel arches, the tapered roofline, it's all about creating this clean, solid, and super aerodynamic shape.
But it's not just about taking things away. It's also about the new materials they're adding. To really get this shift towards what you might call tech luxury, it's worth listening to one of their collaborators, Swarovski. Yeah, the crystal people. Their guy, Peter Whitman, says luxury is all about storytelling. So by using precisely cut crystal for things like controls, BMW is telling a new story. It's not your grandpa's old-world luxury of wood and leather. It's a new blend of high-tech and high-end materials.
And that modern, clean philosophy flows right into the cabin. It's designed to feel really open and airy, which is a huge benefit of having that totally flat floor you get in an EV. The main dashboard seems to float, and instead of just acres of plastic or leather, they're using these really interesting fabric surfaces with light that glows through from behind. The whole thing is designed to flow from the dash into the doors, giving you this wraparound feeling, almost like the car is giving you a hug. Okay, let's get to the digital heart of the Neue Klasse. For over 2 decades, BMW's iDrive has been the benchmark for in-car infotainment. Now, they're completely revolutionizing it. But this is where things get really fascinating, because there's a bit of a clash between the ambitious vision BMW is selling and the real-world, hands-on experience from a journalist who actually got to test it.
So the new system is called BMW Panoramic iDrive, and it's built on 4 main pillars. You've got this wild new thing called Panoramic Vision. We'll get to that in a sec. Then there's the big central display in the middle. Most of your physical inputs will come from the new multifunction steering wheel, and on top of all that, there's an advanced 3D head-up display. The whole point, BMW says, is to perfect their classic principle: hands on the wheel, eyes on the road.
Now this is the big one.
The Panoramic Vision. Get this, instead of a regular instrument screen behind your steering wheel, all of your key info is projected onto a special band at the very bottom of the windshield, and it stretches all the way across the car. And here's the crucial part. It's visible to everyone in the car, not just the driver. It turns the dashboard into a shared information space, which is a radical new way of thinking about a car's cockpit.
And the brain behind this new digital experience is a massively upgraded voice assistant. BMW is promising the world here. It's an intelligent personal assistant powered by Amazon's Alexa tech and built on large language models. You know, the same kind of AI that powers stuff like ChatGPT. The goal is to finally let you talk to your car like a normal person, not like you're barking out rigid commands.
But here's the reality check. We have this quote from Horacio Buerio over at BMW blog, who got to play with a near-final version of this system at the Consumer Electronics Show. And his take is, well, balanced. He says the tech is promising for sure, but some of the specific choices BMW made could end up really frustrating owners. This is where the shiny brochure meets the real world. And this is a perfect example of that potential frustration. The wake word to activate the assistant is simply BMW. Now, the company says their data shows that people were already shortening "Hey BMW," so they just made it official. Makes sense, right? Well, in the real world, the journalist found that anytime he was just having a conversation in the car and happened to mention the word BMW, which, let's be honest, you're going to do in a BMW, the assistant would falsely activate. And the craziest part? Right now, there's no way to change it. That seems like it could get old really fast. That hands-on review gave us some other fascinating little insights, too. The system is a hybrid, which is smart. Basic commands like opening a window are handled locally in the car, so they work even if you don't have cell service. But for more complicated questions, it has to phone home to the cloud. One key finding was that it processes requests one after another, not at the same time, which can create a little bit of lag. On the plus side, it can remember the context of a conversation for about 16 turns, which is really good. And it's smart enough to know its own limits, like it won't let you close the windows remotely on a US model because of safety regulations, and it will even tell you why. All right, let's peel back another layer. We've talked software, now let's talk hardware. We're going deep into the engineering that makes all of this possible. This is the core of the revolution, a totally new electronics architecture that's every bit as important as the new batteries or motors. At the center of it all are what BMW calls superbrains. Now, instead of having dozens, sometimes hundreds of little separate computer chips scattered all over the car, they've consolidated all that power into 4 high-performance computers. One handles everything related to driving dynamics, another is dedicated to automated driving, a third runs all the infotainment and displays, and the last one handles all the basic body and comfort functions. This approach massively simplifies everything and makes it way, way faster.
Now, of those 4 superbrains, one has the absolute best name, the Heart of Joy. This computer is dedicated to one thing and one thing only, preserving BMW's sheer driving pleasure. It's the digital maestro, the conductor of the orchestra, managing the motors, the brakes, the energy recovery, the steering, all in perfect harmony. Its entire job is to make sure that even in this new digital electric world, the car still feels and drives like a proper BMW.
And that Heart of Joy is controlling some seriously next-level hardware. I mean, just look at the jump from their last generation of electric tech to this new one. They're doubling the voltage from 400 to 800 volts. The key takeaway there is much faster charging. They're switching to new cylindrical battery cells that pack in 20% more energy density. They've also gotten rid of an intermediate layer in the battery, going straight from cell to pack, which is more efficient. And maybe the most radical change of all, the battery pack itself is now a structural part of the car's frame. It's not just a box sitting on the floor, it is the floor. This makes the whole car lighter and much, much stiffer. Let's put some hard numbers on these improvements because they are just staggering. Thanks to those superbrains, the processing speed for the driving systems is up to 10 times faster. 10. The 800-volt system boosts charging speeds by 30%. And because of that simpler electronic layout, they've managed to remove around 600 meters of copper wiring from the car. That is a huge amount of weight and complexity just gone. Here's a super nerdy detail that is actually a massive deal. The Neue Klasse gets rid of up to 150 old-school physical fuses, you know, the kind that blow and you have to replace? They're all replaced by digital smart e-fuses. This lets the car intelligently manage its power, shutting down things that aren't needed when you're parked, for example. And that one change alone contributes to a 30% weight reduction just in the wiring harness. It's a brilliant example of using software to solve a physical problem.
Okay, that was a lot of deep engineering talk, but what does it all actually feel like?
How does this revolution in hardware and software actually translate to the real-world experience of driving this car every day?
This is where you really feel that heart of joy Superbrain working. It enables what BMW calls symbiotic systems, which means the car is trying to work with you, not against you. For instance, with symbiotic brakes, if you lightly touch the brake pedal while cruise control is on, it doesn't just switch off. It uses energy regeneration to gently slow you down. In fact, they claim 98% of all braking and normal driving is done by the motors alone. Symbiotic steering is the same idea. You can make a small steering correction in your lane without the lane keeping assist fighting you or turning off. And soft stop uses the electric motors to bring the car to a perfectly smooth, jolt-free stop every time. It's all about making the tech feel more natural and less intrusive.
The driver assistance systems also take a big leap forward. The new optional package allows for true hands-free driving on highways at up to 130 kilometers per hour. That's about 81 miles per hour. It can even perform lane changes for you automatically. You just have to confirm by looking in the mirror. And critically, it's not just for the highway anymore. The system now works in the city, where it can detect traffic lights, stop for reds, and let you know when it's time to go on green.
The Neue Klasse also fundamentally redefines what a car is even for. It's not just for getting from A to B, it's an entertainment hub. You can stream Disney Plus or YouTube, play video games, even take Zoom calls. It also becomes part of the energy grid. This is a huge deal. It supports bi-directional charging. That means vehicle to load, so you can plug power tools into your car. It means vehicle to home, so your car can be a backup battery for your house during a power outage. And it even means vehicle to grid, where you could potentially sell energy back to the utility company.
Just pause and think about that for a second. The implications are profound. This technology transforms the car from being a pure liability, something that only ever costs you money, into a potential asset. An asset that can provide security for your home, or maybe even generate a little income on the side. That completely changes the relationship between you, your car, and the entire energy system.
All right, for our final section, we're going to zoom back out to the really big picture. Because this Neue Klasse revolution isn't just about cool tech and performance, it's about a complete, top-to-bottom reimagining of sustainability, built around the idea of a circular economy.
And they're looking at the whole picture, from mining the raw materials, to manufacturing, to driving, all the way to end-of-life recycling. The result? The total carbon footprint of the new iX3 is 34% smaller than its predecessor. That is a huge, verified improvement in its total impact on the planet.
So, how are they doing that? Well, a massive part of it comes from using recycled materials. As you can see here, about a third of the entire vehicle is made from what they call secondary raw materials. That's a core principle of the circular economy. You reduce the need to mine new stuff from the earth, which is incredibly energy intensive. BMW's whole strategy for this is called Design for Circularity, and it's based on 3 simple ideas. First, secondary first. Always prioritize using recycled stuff if you can. Second, be really smart about your material choices. Don't use 20 different types of plastic when you can use just a few mono materials that are way easier to recycle later. And third, design the car to be taken apart. That means using bolts and clips instead of super strong glue so that 20 years from now, the car can be disassembled efficiently to recover all those valuable materials.
And this isn't just theory, it's really happening. We can see it all over the new iX3. The factory in Hungary where it's being built is designed to run completely without fossil fuels. Some of the plastic parts under the hood are made from 30% recycled marine plastic. We're talking things like old fishing nets. The standard fabric for the seats is made from 100% recycled PET bottles. Even the aluminum wheels are made with 70% recycled aluminum. These are real, tangible examples of that circular design principle in action.
So we'll end with this thought. The original Neue Klasse back in the 1960s set the stage for BMW for more than half a century. It defined the brand. It created the legend. So the real question now is, can this new, all-in revolution in design, digital tech, engineering, and sustainability do the same thing for the 21st century? Because what we've deconstructed today suggests that this isn't just a new chapter for BMW, it might just be a fundamental reimagining of what a car is and what it can be.